Something else that I'd be really curious to get your perspective on is your follow-on fund strategy. So again, something that Rory mentioned was, I believe in 2016, when they had some initial happy customers, they were about to go to the US, and I think he said that he received a call or an email from you saying that you were going to triple your pro rata and provided a bunch of introductions to them, to the US investors as well. Again, it's probably something from a founder perspective that isn't really understood, but from an investor perspective, what are things that you sort of look for, or what's your approach to doing follow-on funding into your portfolio companies?
Well, first of all, to take a step back, the normal thing in venture capital is to have like a seed fund that invests in seed rounds, and what that means in practice is that you invest before you know a company's successful, and then you actively choose to not invest after you know a company is successful. So that has never made sense to us at Blackbird, and we've configured our investing such that we want to invest from the beginning. We want to invest before there is a product or revenue. But if a company is successful, we want to keep investing in it. And in Canva's case, we invested $250,000 before they had a product, but we've invested $270 million as they've succeeded to date. And so the idea of the follow-on fund is to allow us to keep investing in a company after that first seed fund has completely exhausted its ability to invest in one particular company. The other part to maybe the story with Rory and Propeller, it was just very clear that the idea of who Propeller served and who was their customer. So in the beginning, it was very oriented around drone service providers. So these people would hire out you if you wanted a drone, you'd hire someone with a drone to come and operate the drone. It used to be a regulatory requirement that someone who is a professional operate the drone. Now you have drones being able to be used by anyone, and anyone being able to fly it on site. And so the sort of customers had switched from this drone service provider to the actual work sites of the quarries or the garbage dumps, or these industrial kind of work site. And Propeller had always also transcended this idea of the drones weren't the interesting thing. It was the way in which people collaborated on a work site and measured how much work was being done. So the actual financial progress of the work site hung on the kind of audit trail that Propeller had created with its product. And so the idea of its customers, the idea of its product, those are all, and the early customers being super happy, all of the metrics of like low churn, high upgrade revenue, bought it for one work site or one quarry, now has it for 12 quarries. These are all the clues that something interesting is happening. And so we absolutely wanted to build our ownership in Propeller. So that was, yes, we wanted to invest. The other thing, though, I would say is you want the company and the entrepreneur to choose you. And the sort of weird thing would have been, hey, we'll lead the round, but you can't go out and talk to anyone else, and you have to say yes within 24 hours. And to me, that is, again, that's a relationship destroying move, not a relationship building move. And so we gave him a term sheet, but we also gave him intros to all the best investors in Silicon Valley, and said, we would love to lead you around, but we'll understand if you make another decision. I'm, as a director of the company, I'm going to excuse myself from the deliberations and choosing of the round investor, but I'm going to give introductions to all the best people I know. Go and speak to them. You'll have greater confidence and greater swagger knowing that you've already got the term sheet in the bag from Blackbird, and you'll begin the round process on a strong foot. And even though that may seem counterintuitive, I think it builds trust. It probably gave us a greater chance of leading the round rather than a smaller chance. And again, I think if you view relationships as the unit of the business, again, the relationship of hopefully many decades that Blackbird has with Propeller, that's what we're trying to improve every day, not the unit being the round of financing and this kind of transactional mindset of trying to win this transaction at the expense of taking away from the relationship over the longer term.